In many ways, of course, the story of the children and the innocents is a Garden of Eden story, an Adam and Eve story, hence Ada and Everett. And like Adam and Eve, Ada and Everett are two completely innocent creatures who are left alone in the world with a certain amount of knowledge, but blind to their own natures in many ways. Like Adam and Eve, through the course of the book, they are forced to confront their own natures in ways that are completely unexpected to them and lead to completely unexpected consequences. But I think I felt all along that the innocence of those children was not ignorance. It was not stupidity. And I modeled them in many ways on people from Outport, Newfoundland, who lived very isolated lives and in some ways were completely innocent of the world beyond their small world, were unaware of many things out in the wider world. But that innocence was not in any way, shape, or form ignorance or stupidity. And Ada and Everett, like Newfoundlanders who lived in the outports and survived there in very, very difficult circumstances, they're actually incredibly able and incredibly capable and in some ways incredibly skilled people. Newfoundlanders were required to be able to do way more than, for example, I would be able to do, or most people who live in Newfoundland now would be able to do, because at that time, if something needed doing, you had to be able to do it yourself. So they were a strange mix of incredibly worldly and capable, and also strangely childlike. My father says that, for example, he had no childhood, that he was an adult from the time he was, well, at least 9 years old. But folks who grew up in Newfoundland outports were often, although they were adults from a very early age, they remained childlike for their entire lives. I came across a story in a biography of an American doctor who spent most of his professional life working in a Newfoundland outport called Twillingate, where my mother was born and raised. And in that biography, there was a story of a married woman who came to see the doctor because she was pregnant. And she told him that she had been out picking berries in the fall and gotten her feet wet. And that's when her period stopped. So this was a married woman who had had children already in the 1930s. And she did not know where those children came from. It wasn't unusual in Newfoundland outports for most of Newfoundland history, I think, for husbands never to have seen their wives naked. So part of what I was exploring in this novel was that strange mix of childishness or innocence combined with this worldliness that the lives of these children would have forced upon them.